That's a great question because, um, so for example, so that's the uniqueness of Indian country. So a Native American business person, um, let's say I'll use a towing company for an example. I have a client that runs a towing company, and he does most of his business is done within reservation boundaries. He does do some business off reservation boundaries, and so he's actually trying to get into another market, and so he'll well be having more runs off reservation. Well, as long as your address and your business is within reservation boundaries and you're doing business off reservation, there's no like, you don't like say, well, I got this much money from the off reservation part and this much from the on reservation. It's all together. It's considered, as long as your home base is on that reservation. So I teach my clients how to go to their home reservation, get an address there, register their business there, and then conduct business that way. You could have satellite offices. In fact, I'm going to do that. After I helped this other lady do it, I was like, Gina, why the hell aren't you doing it? Because I live on the Flathead Reservation, and I could go register my business on we have property on the Navajo Reservation. I have an address there too. So I'm like, I could just have my address there, and I could avoid state tax. So it's not that it's where your business is, the address and where it's registered. That's key. And then you can have satellite offices off reservation, but the home base, you want it on your reservation. I'll explain how a Native American entrepreneur is taxed at a state level. So how it works is, for Native Americans, you have to be enrolled in a certain tribe. And some tribes have different enrollment guidelines. So some people have you could be just show lineage. Some people it's 1/4 degree or more. Some are some of them you can even be adopted into it. But in order to at a state level, so if you're a Native American and you're working on the reservation that you are enrolled in, that you have your bed, not really working on, because we live in a world where you can work anywhere. So as long as your address is on the reservation that you're enrolled at and you have registered it with your tribe, you don't have to pay state tax. But for example, my business currently right now is located in Montana. I'm enrolled in the Navajo Nation, but my business address is not on the Navajo Nation. Although I do have property there and an address there, I chose to register my business with the state of Montana at my Montana address. Therefore, I have to pay state tax. When you're a Native American and you're in business, it is unique to the whole United States. If you think about it, in the United States, most Americans can start a business and you register your business with the state, you start paying federal and state taxes. It's pretty universal. It's different in Indian country. We have a unique status where if you are a tribe and you start a business, you do not have to pay federal taxes. If you are an individual tribal member and you start a business, you must pay federal taxes. And so Now that's at a federal level. Now let's look at a state level. If you are in business and you are living and working within your reservation boundaries on the reservation that you're enrolled at, then you don't have to pay state tax. Now, I'm a prime example of this. My business is registered in Arlee, Montana on the Flathead Reservation. I'm an enrolled member of the Navajo Nation. I pay federal taxes and Montana state taxes. My biggest bill is Montana state tax. And so that's how you kind of have to segregate. It's important that it's a tribal enterprise as opposed to an individual tribal member. That's important. And then the other important part is, where do they live? They have to live within the reservation boundaries that they're enrolled at before they can, claim those kinds of exemptions.